Now, this video will probably change your life. Hopefully, it will change your life. This is going to go over the Alchemy of Self document, and this is from a very famous entrepreneur called Sam Ovens. So I can't take credit for this in any way, shape, or form. I can't remember when I found out about Sam Ovens or the Alchemy of Self type stuff, but again, I've used the law of attraction, I've used affirmations, and don't get me wrong, I don't believe in just wishful thinking and oh, I hope I have a Lamborghini and then getting one. I fully understand that it takes massive change to get these things, but I think focusing on specific goals and outcomes is extremely important. This is the guy who owns School. If you've heard of like the School platform, the School community, is now owned by Sam Ovens, who had consulting businesses, mega multi-millionaire dude, and I think this video will give you guys a lot of value and insight. I have an Alchemy of Self document. If you're making one of these, try and make it. So I was going to share mine, right? But I want you guys to make it as personal as possible to the point where you can put all of your goals, dreams, affirmations, no matter how crazy or ludicrous they sound, just be fully yourself on this document. Okay, now Google this. I would literally just Google this and download a PDF copy. So it's obviously Sam Ovens, Alchemy of Self. So Google that, and then it's basically this website here. So online.flip.html, that one. Okay, so go and find this document, and I would basically just download it. You can then basically copy pages over to Canva or whatever and fill them out for yourself, essentially. So this document is extremely important. It is a massive thing. The mindset in business is probably one of the most important things. Like your mindset, if you have that unshakable mindset, unshakable confidence in yourself, it is probably one of the most important things. So this is basically the Alchemy of Self. It's designing your dream life. And that's why I say to you, when you make your Alchemy of Self document, don't share it with anyone. Don't even have the possibility of sharing it with anyone in your mind. Just keep it for yourself. It is yours to print off and it is yours to read on a daily basis. Okay. Now, I have one of these on my phone as well. So I have a hard copy. If I don't take the hard copy out, I will basically read it from my phone. Okay. And I'll do this over the course of the day. So this is super basic stuff. And Sam Ovens had a consultancy firm called consultancy.com. I think he closed it years ago. I don't think it's still open. If you Google consultancy.com, it's probably not a thing anymore. And this was one of the things that he would send out to clients in consultancy.com. So these are super high level people who are signing up to this thing. So I would go through this document and read it out, and I can promise you, you will like change your life off the back of this. The amount of vision boards, affirmations, things like this that I have done, every single one of them up until this point has came true. Every single one of them has came true. So this literally goes into it, and it's the same type of stuff. I've got this book out with me just now, Psycho Cybernetics, which is a book that I read this year, which again basically just backs up and reinforces why all this stuff makes sense and why the things that you focus your mind and attention on the majority of the time come true in your life. And the stuff that you put in this document will come true. I can guarantee you that. Set it, focus it, become the person that you need to become in order to do that. And I say that to people all the time. You guys might look at myself in my fitness business and think, this is awesome, this guy's done really, really well, I wish I was at the stage that he was at. I've had to become a new person to where I'm at now to be able to manage my business. If someone had just handed me the business that I have now, the responsibilities that I have now when I was first starting out, I would not have been able to cope with that in any way, shape, or form. And I know that. And it's only over the last couple of years that I've sort of realised that to that extent. So whether for yourself that's leaving your job to go full time online, whether it is hitting 5k a month, 10k a month, 15k a month, 20k a month, whatever that is, it's not even so much the work that you're doing, but it's also you becoming that new person. Like if you suck with time management, that's probably the thing that's holding you back from achieving the stuff that you want to achieve in business and in life. So I'll not read all this document out. I would like you guys just to do this as a practice. and look at the document, look through the document, make your own copy of the document. Now, I have a performance tracker like this, and I basically fill this out every single day. So I have these online, I have paper copies, I put them on my vision boards, and I just fill these out. So for yourselves in your businesses, it could basically just be business tasks, wake up time, exercise, mindset, start time, end time, performance, percentage, mindset, bedtime, etc. You can change these to whatever you want. Whatever you want. So I can have social media on there, I can have story posts on there, I can have affirmations on there, I can have read your Alchemy of Self document on there, and I'll read it in the morning when I first wake up. And this basically explains all of this stuff. So I would just go onto the website, type in Sam Ovens, Ovens, and basically get his stuff, right? I mean, there's not a huge amount of stuff now. I think obviously when he was doing this a longer time ago, there was a lot more stuff, there was a lot more content, but it goes over your identity and becoming the person that you need to become to achieve the things that you want to achieve in your life. So, the Sam Ovens identity: billionaire, reformer, revolutionary, contrarian, titan, icon, god, genius, philosopher, right? So, don't be afraid to like go wild with this stuff because all of these people, even people like me, like where I come from to where I'm at now, that doesn't happen. In my mind, I always knew it was going to happen. I can't describe to you why I knew that. I always had that unshakable belief that I was going to get to this point. And you guys can get to that point as well. So this video, in terms of books, I would definitely read Psycho Cybernetics. I would 100% go over your Alchemy of Self document and have fun with this. So I've taken this document a step further. So again, in this original document, it's a Sam Ovens identity, billionaire, reformer, blah, blah, blah. The Sam Ovens legacy to date. So, for example, you could put your own legacy to date in there. For me, it was get expelled from school, worked in JD Sports. I then worked as a rehabilitation technician in a sick children's hospital. I then joined the police at 21. That's how my story goes, basically, to then having the largest online coaching platform for emergency service workers in the world. So this is how I would set these things out. For myself, for my like Greg Hamill legacy to date bit, I put extra things in there that I want to achieve because I want to look at this document and I want to feel like these things have already happened. And this goes hand in hand with this book. Like this goes hand in hand with this book. So I would look at these things, I would make your own one of these and just think about, get excited with it and design your own life. So for myself, I live in, again, a very, very nice apartment in Abu Dhabi. I live right on the beach. It's £1 million condos all around. This is where I live, right? I love it. I've always had that. Even on one of my very, very first vision boards, I live somewhere warm. I think it said, I'm so happy and grateful now that I live somewhere warm. I can wear shorts whenever I want. And I would sit and I would vision these things. I would envision them when I was sitting doing this stuff. And now I probably live in the hottest place on the planet. Which for a man of my fair complexion probably isn't the best. I spend lots of money on sunscreen, but it is what it is. So fill out your own story, and then I did it like this. So continue your story like this, okay? So like the unfinished story of Greg Hamill, okay? And I would have these things in here, basically just as black boxes. So again, for example, where is my watch? So I had a very specific watch that I wanted. I wanted to always get a Rolex GMT Master, right? The Lunette Noir GMT Master with the green dial, right? I fucking love this watch. I love the Rolex colors as well. Even in on my Alchemy of Self document, I have a house designed in Cornwall, in the south of England. And in that house, in the office space, the cars that I've got, they're basically Rolex green. So I like the hand on this because it basically matches the Rolex colours, and it's oyster. It's an oyster, but it's awesome. This was on my vision board for such a long time. Okay, so when you then get these things, you can take a picture of yourself with your luxury watch on, whatever it might be, the new car, the new apartment, and basically just update it. So set some of these goals as sort of small achievable goals. So if you wanted to lose a bit of weight, for example, and you thought that will help you obviously drive your business forward a little bit, you document the process, etc. Put in here, Greg lost £10. Greg got his six pack back. Okay, I like to keep a six pack year round. That's just me. So put in some small goals here that you can start to achieve over the next few months, because it really just is those daily actions that will sort of lead you towards that. When I say I've taken this a step further, instead of going straight into like the manifesto stuff and then like the identity stuff, I have my dream lives set out in different places. So just to go into detail with this for you guys now, I want to have a large house in the south of England, ideally in Cornwall, with a swimming pool. Now, on my document itself, I have basically mapped out one full A4 page with a picture of a house, with a picture of the office space, with a picture of two cars. So I think what was the other picture of? People sitting outside having dinner. That was my other picture. So I had a picture of people sitting outside having dinner, and at the top it says Greg Hamill owns a luxury mansion in the south of Cornwall. He spends several months out of the year here with friends and family making memories. Right. I then have one for Mallorca. So I love going to Mallorca. I think Mallorca is an awesome place. I will have an apartment. And again, I will have an apartment. I know for a fact I will have this. I will have an apartment in Mallorca. It's a luxury apartment. I've got pictures of the apartment. I have pictures of the cars. One of them's a Jeep Wrangler, like a convertible Jeep Wrangler, because it's an island. I just think that's quite cool. Again, I've got pictures of the office space and like family sitting out at night on the balcony having dinner. And then I had my Abu Dhabi life, which I'm currently in. So all of these things were things that I've had, right? And they will all happen, they will all come true. You just need to then change the person and change your behavior so that you can start to basically adapt the mental fortitude, the resilience, the timekeeping, the service delivery, etc. It all goes hand in hand. It all goes hand in hand. And again, that's why this book, it just makes so much sense when you read it. So I had these things done beforehand, and I read this book this year, Cycles Cybernetics. It's an awesome book, right? And it goes into all these things as well. So again, manifesto, you can read over this one, but I would describe these traits in as much detail as you can. So your character traits, your body type and style, your achievements, mentors, branding, etc. So even for yourself within your current business, again, let's say you are an elite level powerlifter and you train elite level powerlifters. Your body type and style might not be 80 kilos with a six pack. It probably won't, right? So we need to make sure that we then start to. I think the main thing for me with this is like the adherence to this, okay? So these things will change as well. The one thing that I find now that I have lots and lots of work to do, I basically have zero free time, is things like my hair annoys the fuck out of me. So I used to go to the barbers every single week, get a skin fade, and again get like a line put in here. I genuinely don't have time to do that. I miss getting my hair cut more now than I actually managed to get my hair cut. So for myself, again, now it's like, well, maybe I'll just have slightly longer hair. Maybe I'll just have slightly longer hair. I'm not going to become a hippie in any way, shape, or form, but if I can go and get my hair cut once every 2 weeks, I can commit to that as opposed to saying, right, I'm going to have a short back and sides, I'm going to get a skin fade every single week, and then failing on these things. So these things may change as we go through it. Again, your dress, like these things are super important. And I think for yourself in an online educational company, showing up on social media, fitting the bill is extremely important. And have fun with these things as well. Like if you work with running athletes, get yourself kitted up in the best running gear. Get yourself kitted up in the best running gear. Fit the bill. Fake it till you make it. Obviously, you're not faking it because you're already in that, but don't be showing up to things on social media looking like a bag of shit, right? With fucking old dog hairs on your jumpers and your hair is a complete fucking mess. Don't do that because it gives people such a bad impression. I look at people on social media and I think, right, do they look professional straight off the bat? Do they look professional straight off the bat? Is the house tidy? All these different things. Now, again, I don't want to own a Gulfstream G200 private jet. I couldn't give a fuck about owning a jet. So, like a black squirrel helicopter, I don't want a black squirrel helicopter. So your things will be completely different, okay? But you need to have them. You need to have that goal in place. You can print these things off as well. You can put them in picture frames and put them up on your wall in the office so that you can constantly see them. It's an extremely important document to have, and I can guarantee you by going through this and filling things out, it just gives you that clear purpose and direction. I think within an online company as well, running an online company, there's so many distractions online now. Here's why your business isn't growing. Here's why your business is going to fail within the first 2 years. Here's the new ClickFunnels system that you didn't know you needed. And like, there's so many things. Whereas if you want to hit 10, 20, $30,000 a month in your business, you don't need any of that stuff. You don't need any of that stuff. You need to focus on a goal and you need to break down the person that you need to become in order to achieve that goal. And then you need to just do the thing. Okay, which again goes back to the daily action tracker, the daily habit tracker. So you can set your daily habit tracker to have whatever you want in it. And again, don't even show it to anyone. Don't show it to anyone if you don't want people to see it. Mine is wakes up 5 o'clock. So again, becoming a dad, that's difficult sometimes because sometimes you'll be up during the night. It's difficult. I don't have them. I bought these two watches which vibrate at 5 o'clock in the morning. And some days, depending on the night that we've had, I'll just sleep right through them. And then I wake up and then I'm pissed off that I've missed the gym, that I've missed X, Y, and Z. So break this down to however you want it to be, okay? And literally just stick to it for 30 days, 31 days. If that's to get 10 new clients into your business, break that down into, again, all the things that we teach in this course, break it down into those small daily tasks. It's the same as if someone wants to lose weight, okay? And we say, right, okay, well, over the next 30 days, basically over the next 4 weeks, if you want to start losing body fat, you need to hit your steps daily. You need to hit your calories daily. Try and have a protein target. Try and have some dietary fiber in there. If you're training in the gym, go to the gym 3, 4 days a week. That repeated consistently enough will lead to that end outcome. But that person needs to adopt the behaviors of a healthy person straight off the bat for them to become that thing. So you can change that from today to tomorrow. So if you want to go from where you're at now to that successful business owner who does all this stuff, you can immediately change to the behaviors of that successful business owner who does all that stuff tomorrow. Like, I'm hoping you're getting pins and needles, not pins and needles, goosebumps when I'm talking about this, because this is literally what you need to do. It's probably one of the most important things that you can do on mindset. Now, my affirmations page, again, I found a lot of the time I was wasting ridiculous amounts of time going through this because there is quite a lot on this document. I have about this in total, so like a page and a half of affirmations that I go over. I took this a step further as well. I documented my affirmations as a voice note on my phone and I listen to this. I don't listen to it when I'm at the gym, but when I'm driving in the car, I'll listen to it. Just again, me, my future self, talking to myself. And again, people can think you're crazy. This doesn't work. People can think that all they want. But the stuff that I've had on old, I wish I'd kept these old vision boards as well. The things that I've had on these old vision boards have all happened. Apart from a car that I had on a vision board that I actually didn't even want. And it was only when I was looking at it one day I was like, I don't even want that car. I never wanted that car. It was a random Mercedes sports car that I literally have never even wanted. I don't even know what it was called. So again, you need to make sure that these things are things that you specifically want. Okay. And then it's like the connotations where you like the connotations around these things. So if you wanted to have, let's say you're wanting to buy a new Range Rover, right? But you don't feel like you deserve it, and you've got a Range Rover on your vision board. Like, what do you associate with the type of man or woman or person that drives a Range Rover? Successful, well off, well to do, Like there's all these different things that come with these things. So for yourself, you then basically just break that down into actions. So I would always say pick a goal, right? And this is what we do with this document. So for example, I know that I have my Cornwall house, I have my Mallorca house, I have my Abu Dhabi lifestyle that I'm currently in at the moment. A couple of things that I still need to get for that one. But I can then basically look at these goals and then just break them down. Right, okay, so let's say the Cornwall house. So I have this printed off, I have it up on my wall, I have the cards, I have the family events, I have these things that I want to have. I can literally look at this and then I can just start to envision it. I can feel the feelings of me already having it. I can picture myself sitting in the garden in a warm summer's evening, dogs running about, kids running about, with my mum, with my dad, with my wife, with my sister, and I can start to feel those positive emotions. And that's when this book comes in. So these both go hand in hand. And I can guarantee you, if you go through this and you fill one of these out and you practice it daily, break this down into small affirmations, and if you have this book and you read these books, the other book that I quite like in terms of immediately changing mindset is The Secret, the old famous The Secret. I think it was Rhonda Brines or something. Now I have that in an audiobook because some days again you wake up slightly negative mindset. You need to change your mindset immediately. Sometimes I find that quite difficult. And the one way that I've found over the years to get my mindset back to a positive mindset, one of the things, so I call these like a list of switches, right? So you basically go through and you switch the light from on to off, right? Or off to on, whatever you want. I call it the list of switches, and that's what I go through in my mind when I know, right, okay, Greg, you need to show up for work today, you've got to show up for clients today, you've got to do this, you've got to do this. It doesn't matter how you're feeling, you need to get this work done regardless. So you might as well feel good about doing it. And that's when I'll go through the switches. That's when I'll drive to the gym. I'll turn off the affirmations on my notes, and I'll put on The Secret, the Law of Attraction book, and I'll listen to that. I'll maybe listen to a couple of my favorite songs just to really kind of elevate me and get me feeling good. And that's when I can get back into that sort of positive vibration. Okay. So again, let me know like if you guys want to share anything into the group from things that you've added onto your Alchemy of Self document, then by all means do that. But have fun with this, right? Like spend a bit of time doing this. Once you've finished work, sit down, put the TV on, have your dinner, maybe sit with a glass of wine or a beer or whatever, or a protein shake, and just start to fill this out and start to plan your life. This was probably the funnest bit for me, going through these things, and you will update these. But as I said, if your goal is to hit $10,000 a month or $20,000, whatever that might be, one of those initial goals, you can then tick these things off, and that sense of achievement when you get to that. One of my first ever goals, which just seems crazy now, was to hit £3,000 a month, so $4,500, whatever that might be. And I remember I was in a group, and one of the guys in the group had posted that he'd hit his first £3,000 month, and I was like, "Fuck, I want to do that." See the sense of achievement I felt. And it was probably only 4 months later that I hit my first £3,000 month, £8,000 month. I was like, oh, £8,333.33 a month. I was like, right, six-figure business. That's me. £10,000, and so on. Right. You can then tick these things off, whether it's buying your Rolex watch that you've always dreamed of, right? I'm not a big person for, I don't know, designer clothes or anything. I don't care. I have plain clothes, I wear gym stuff, polo shirts, etc. That's my identity, right? So you basically want to fall into the identity of the person, of the coach, of the business owner that you want to become, because as soon as you then put those things on, like let's say you've been holding off on buying new gym clothes for whatever reason, how are you going to feel when you put those new gym clothes on? When you get those new gym clothes and you're doing content in your new stuff and you feel better about yourself, people are going to pick up on that. So again, it's adopting that identity and moving forward with it. But I'm excited to have shared this one with you guys. You might all think I'm crazy and leave, but it is what it is. The ones who stay, we're gonna. One of you guys needs to put on own Black Squirrel helicopter so that we can all go out in your Black Squirrel helicopter one day. All right, but have fun with this one. Any questions about it? Let me know.